Hello. Today I will be flipping through another house beautiful. Previous one was an outdoor issue. This one is the shopping issue. So let's start. Let every space of your home reflect the things you love. So this one is an ad for the Arhaus. And Arhaus is a brand from Ohio. It's actually the name is made from a combination of two words. One is a Danish word. It's a city, Aarhus, without A. And the other word is a German word for house, which is just house. Arhaus. They do sell premium home furnishing, and they make an emphasis on artisan-made furniture. They specify themselves as a brand that sells furniture that is built to last. I really like their ads because it is always easy to recognize Arhaus because of the color scheme. It is always very dramatic, almost like a part of a painting. There are always those deep tones, and they always have a flower arrangement from dried flowers somewhere in their interior. I think this is so smart to always keep same element in your ads. Create where you belong. This is California Closets. And this one I mentioned in my previous videos. This one is the brand Philip Jeffries. This is the company from New Jersey, and they specialize in wall coverings, wallpaper, and also murals. This particular one is a mural on silk, and they do prefer high-end natural materials like grass cloth, silk, linen weaves, and they as well work with skilled artisans. As I said before in my previous videos, there is this rise of wallpaper in interiors, and some high-end brands make wallpaper that was actually painted, hand-painted by artists. This is so fun. When you look at interiors like this, usually if there is molding on the wall, and when we arrange art on the wall, usually logically a designer would take this painting and place it within the molding rectangle. And I think this is a very fun move by a designer. It's very smart and fun. Let me draw it for you. See the molding pattern, just kind of going like that, and etc. Pretty basic. You know, this is the floor, and then, you know, logically designer would place the art piece here. I think it's especially funny because this is exact same size as the size of this molding frame. But this is a very bold move to just kind of go against and place it here. I think there's some humor behind it. I really do like this idea. This one is Arteriors. Monogram. Everything in this picture looks so sharp. I'm not sure if this is actual photo or the rendering. With technologies nowadays, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a real picture or was it computer generated. Chick Sensation. Stickly. I don't think this is a good way for the sofa to shine. Thero and Ball. Paint and wallpaper. Wow, look at this room. This just shows how much simple element of a design, a window frame, and the molding around it can create so much drama. Windows framed in a way, they almost become two very dramatic paintings in the room. And when there are features like this in the interior, it's nice to keep everything simple. I absolutely love this design. There's a mixture of modern and there's mixture of traditional. So as I mentioned before, when we mix traditional elements like this with modern, we call it transitional. So this brand is a Visual Comfort & Co. and they are from Houston, Texas. They specialize in decorative lighting and architectural lighting, ceiling fans for both residential and commercial markets. And the fun thing about them is on their website, they feature different designers, and you can pick a designer and then you can pick lights by a specific designer. Like here, and they are saying the designer is Chapman and Myers, and then there's the name of the model for this light. Let's actually talk a little bit about this interior. So this one, we can say that it has a very clean, gallery-like contemporary aesthetic. The palette is monochromatic. We see blacks, whites, and some warm wood. I would call this style modern industrial. And if you don't know what modern industrial is, when we say industrial, we usually look for raw and exposed materials. And the element here, one of the main elements of the room that gives it its character, I think it's this table. Look at the tabletop. It's made from a raw wooden piece, and look at the metal legs. They feel very heavy. They almost feel aged. I think it's funny to take an element like this and almost juxtapose it to this very clean beam, this black beam that goes across the room. So this definitely adds a feeling of masculinity to the room. Also, if you're looking in the interior and you're seeing elements like exposed brick or maybe structural elements like wooden columns that feel very raw and untreated, or even flooring, maybe some furniture pieces, stone or wood where they kept its natural shape. That's what creates the industrial look to the space. Floors are usually made from natural wood. Then we also see a lot of metal. So it's interior that emphasizes durability and rawness, and neutral, earthy color palette. It's usually very simple, open, and have a feeling of has this spacious feel to it. But since this is an advertisement for lights, obviously the focal point of the picture are those three pendants. Look at this delicate chain that they are hanging on. It's a nice comparison with very heavy legs of the table. And I really do like this dark beam that almost divides the picture by half and gives it a volume, much needed volume. Just imagine if it wasn't there. Oh, let me take this piece of paper. Okay. Just imagine for a second if it wasn't there, the space would have felt completely different. I think the designer did a very good job with that. This could be either structural beam, or this could be simply a piece of interior design. So everything within this image is very symmetrical. It's on an axis, and if we just draw a diagram of the space, so just gonna draw the shapes and the volumes. The main element is obviously the black beam. Then we have a heavy table that just looks and feels very heavy. And we have those airy three pendants. Everything is clean, it is symmetrical. And what's nice about rooms like that is sometimes you can introduce an organic element, which in this case is the gallery behind. Everything is placed very organically. It feels like it's unorganized, but I am sure there is an intent behind the placement. So this almost gives it a second layer of depth behind it. Just put it, random shapes here. And still, them being so light and so airy, they are not even breaking up the whole symmetry that was created by the room, because they are still the main elements of an interior. It's the bones of the geometry of the interior, I would say. And I think also we can say about this, elements like this, when we take very delicate lighting and very heavy and rugged pieces of furniture like this table, there is almost creates a very sophisticated balance between feminine and masculine. Because if everything in the room was very delicate, it would have had something would have felt off. Same with if everything in the room would have felt rough and heavy. It's always nice to mix different things like that. So this one is Grand Inn Road. The best home stores in America. So since this is a shopping issue, they are featuring different stores in the United States. And this is a ad for Fabric Cut. They are from Oklahoma and they sell decorative fabrics, trimmings, and wall coverings. We see more of different furniture stores and accessory stores here. An ad from Brizzo. This is Sharon Williams. I think it's funny, in my previous videos I was talking about this brand Hinckley, and they had an advertisement again where they were featuring a light fixture, since this is a brand that makes different lamps and just different types of lighting. They had a lamp on during the daytime outside. I thought it was funny. And here again, the same thing. They're showing this chandelier in the room completely filled with light. I guess the question is again, why didn't they photograph this, later in the day when we can actually see how dramatic, like, I'm sure this chandelier can create very dramatic light. Oh, look at those chairs. So geometric, so light. I love them. So Bernhard brand, they are from North Carolina, and they are a luxury furniture manufacturer. They actually have three different parts of their brand. One is Bernhard Design, where they make contemporary office furniture and textiles. Another is Bernhard Hospitality, where they make furniture for hotels and like a travel sector. And the third one is Bernhard Exteriors, where they make outdoor furniture. I think this one is just a Bernhard Design. Look at how structurally the back of this chair is being held. It's almost in the air. This would fit nicely within a rustic interior. So House Beautiful, they have this section called Whole Home, and every November and December they take one house that they pick, and I think there are special brands that sponsor, and they redesign the whole house, and there is a different designer responsible for every single room. And then in the next months they will publish it. It's always so fun to see just a whole house being redesigned, remodeled, and each room is done by a different designer. So the one that they are going to do in the next magazine is going to be from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm excited to see that. Everything but the bed. So here we see different types of nightstand. I guess they are talking about designing your bedroom. So when I think bedroom furniture, things that, the three essentials that come to mind is the nightstand, the lamp that goes on this nightstand to provide a warmer, softer lighting, a rug, and maybe just for the looks, a painting or an art that goes ahead the headboard. But then again, this one is depending on the type of headboard that you have. Sometimes beds have very fancy headboards that do not require anything above them. So we see different nightstands here, and it's actually very convenient to have a surface beside your bed where you can put, a lamp, a book, glasses, phones, just where you can organize your clutter. And also it gives a framing to the bed. So if you're trying to design your bedroom space, just start off looking front at your bed. Let's just draw this wall. Let's say this is your bed. Put a couple pillows on it. And then we can think about the shapes and the sizes of a nightstand. Do you want it wide? Do you want it narrow? And then draw out a lamp. Think about the light, how it's going to fall from what angle. And then maybe think about an art piece above and a carpet. And here you go. Your design is done. But it's just nice to draw out diagrams like this if you're thinking about already designing, and try to play around with different volumes. If you already have your bed, you can take a picture of it and then, draw on it to see what's gonna look nice. I think before there was a time in, I would say, like 2000s, when people used to purchase sets, same bed, same material of a nightstand, then there would be a closet in exact same wood or metal or whatever type of material. And now I think people are breaking off from this idea of matching, because we can match with color, we can match with texture, we can play around with things, and things don't really necessarily have to match, but think about the volumes. So it's not only practical, this one is just, a beautiful addition, framing your bed. So here we can see an ad for Beller Design. And Beller Design is a US-based home furnishing and decor brand. I think their style could be described as European inspired, but still there is ad of modern influences. It looks very traditional and classic, timeless, with a little touch of modern influences to it. And if I would be describing this room, I think we can say that it's done in Grand Millennial style. And when I'm saying Grand Millennial, if you don't know what kind of style that is, this is a fresh take on a traditional style. If you look at the interior, and it seems like there is something grandmotherly in the decor. We can see here that there's definitely a classical elegance. There are vintage patterns, and we could say that this is antique furniture, or it's done stylistically in antique style. Sometimes you would even see ruffles on pillow throws or on curtains. Sometimes you would even see a detailed trim. The colors usually are soft, and there is always something very cozy and nostalgic about this place. But what makes a difference between traditional and Grand Millennial? I think Grand Millennial is more playful. Still, if you're looking at this room, there is a feel of something grandmotherly to it, but still it is very playful. So it's almost like a timeless room, and we can say that this could belong to a young lady, or this can belong to a woman in her 60s, and we would not be able to tell a difference because there are elements not only from a traditional style, but there are some touches of modern. If we look at this modern heavy table, that is almost anchoring everything to the center, because all the other objects feel very light, and I would even say playful. This feels very heavy and serious. So again, there is a nice balance, which is why I think this is very successful design. But then at the same time, they kept it within the same color palette. This is the same shade of dark blue as the curtains, and then the curtains are mimicking exact same fabric as the pillow throws. There are a lot of connections. The pillow throws are connecting to porcelain vases. Persian style rug is connecting in the color with this wallpaper, and again, as I mentioned before, the wallpaper is coming back. So very successful design, in my opinion. It's so timeless, but it's very playful. And then we see more of nightstands here. And as I mentioned before, another important element is the night lamp. I think it's one of the essential pieces to have in your bedroom, because you need this softer light when you are either you're reading in the bed or you're browsing through your phone. It is also very important when you're picking out the lamp and when you're picking the light bulb to consider what kind of color of light it's going to give you. Try to go for warm light, because warm light is more relaxing than blue light. Blue light is always very much in your face, and it could awaken you. You need something that's going to calm you down. And when you're trying to design this area, think about that the bottom of the shade of your lamp should be near your eye level when you're sitting here on the bed. So you should also think about that. And here we see Lee Furniture. I think recently they've been doing this fun ad where they place their chairs in the desert. I think it's very fun and again memorable. This is Wildwood. This one is a North Carolina brand. They make lighting and furniture, some home accessories. The thrill of the chase. Some people call the sitting in the chair like this as a chaise lounge, and some people call it as chaise. So whichever you prefer. So the chair, like long reclining chair like this, is usually placed in bedroom for lounging and relaxing. So essentially it's just the same chair but longer, where you can stretch out your legs. Those ones are nice if you have a bigger bedroom, you have a space for it. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is essential piece of a bedroom. And here they also have a day bed. I guess the only difference between a day bed and a chaise lounge is that day bed is longer, where you can actually lay down. It's more functional. I just don't see a point of having a day bed in your bedroom. Well, here is exactly what I was talking about previously when I was talking about molding. Oh, here. This is a good example where an interior designer is playing with the molding, not against the molding. And I think it works successfully in this and in this case scenario. Just whatever you prefer. I've seen a lot of molding recently as well. This is also, besides the wallpaper, this is also a very easy way to add more definition to the room. And if it's done correctly, it can definitely elevate your room, create this very luxurious feel. Magnolia Home in York coverings. Wallpaper again. Cosentino. I think Cosentino, they make like high performance surfaces like countertops, flooring. Soft landings and a rug. So there is nightstand, a lamp, a rug. So here we see Decorating Den Interiors, and this is the company that specializes in custom interior decorating services. So they do consultations, they visit your house, help you select products. I think this is very good ad for them. In the previous magazine that I've been looking at, I don't think it was a good picture to show for their ad, but here I think this is an example that shows how decorating can completely change the room. So this room, I'd say there is a mixture of classical elements. We see a lot of molding, like a trim here, which I would say is a classical element. Then we see, actually I really do love the windows. They are arch, but with the curtains it's kind of hard to see. So the bones of the room are classical, but overall I would describe this as maximalistic interior design. And maximalism is about more is more. It's about bold colors, bold patterns like this, vibrant prints. So it's the space that is very rich in colors and different patterns. Sometimes we can even see mixing of styles, combining modern and classical, sometimes adding something eclectic or maybe even vintage. But this is one of the styles that I think is specifically done for a person. It's a personality driven. I can almost even imagine the owner having this very fun and vibrant personality, same as the room is. which I think is fun. And then we also see here eclectic glam. We see luxurious, sophisticated elements of glam, some metallic finishes, blush fabrics, some crystal accents, like this beautiful chandelier. We don't really see mirrored surfaces, but we see a lot of glass tables. So it's high in contrast pieces with a lot of color and bold patterns. We see those beautiful curtains in fuchsia color. They are mimicking the pillow throws. And those accent chairs here, they within their pattern are mimicking those pillow throws. So there is this dialogue. Again, there is interconnection of certain elements that make this room come together very nicely. So here it's all about the power of color and how much, as I said before, color can give volume. If curtains were beige or they were lighter, almost blending with the walls, they would have disappeared, and interior would have felt heavy at the bottom. Versus now, it feels like it's evened out. They almost create those columns within the interior. So sometimes it's just fun to work with color, and even simple things like curtains that you can change in your room can do this much to the space. So on this beautiful note, I'm going to end the video, and I'm wishing you to have an energizing morning, productive day, or relaxing night.